This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
FM 89.9 KMOJ, ladies and gentlemen, and letting you know that right now, ladies and gentlemen, right now as I speak on the phone line, I have none other than Tiffany Grant. We're going to talk to her in a short moment, but letting you know it's a show. It's entitled Little Moments Count. Now, it's about KMOJ Radio and Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count in partnership with KMOJ. I'm letting you know it's a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of one's life. Now, we're talking about 80% of the brain growth happens in the first 1,000 days of a small person's mindset when it comes to talking, playing, reading, singing, any kind of thing that deals with that mobile mobility. And I'm letting you know that if you like a recopy or rebroadcast of the show or more information, it's littlemomentscount.org. I'd like to say good afternoon to Tiffany Grant. Good afternoon, and how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Cuba. I am doing wonderful. I'm so glad to be with you today.
No doubt, no doubt. And we all are glad that you are here. For the listening audience, can you give us just a little bit about yourself? Because I know you've been around when it comes to dealing with youngsters and youth for the last 15 years. But give us an update a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been working with children for over 15 years. I started out doing direct service, so working with infants, toddlers, and preschool. And during this time, it's really given me a lot of information to where I'm very, I'm qualified and very excited to talk about what children need and the importance of being a part of their lives and their brain development. So I do currently work as a consultant at First Children's Finance, and we support childcare businesses on the business side of childcare. And in this work, we talk about those early experiences and how important it is for children to have the foundational needs in order for them to be successful in their learning environment.
So can you break down that a little bit when we're talking about the first years of a child's life and the importance of their development? Talk a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, so during the brain development period, a child forms what we call trillions of connections, and literally that's what it means. And these connections set the foundation for cognitive, emotional, and social development. We also know that during this period that attachment and relationships develop and are very important in ensuring the safety and security. And so having relationships from adults are very essential for emotional regulation and social skills. And some other things that happen during this period is language development. So early exposure to language influences a child's ability to communicate, read, and write later. And these interactions happen with peers and caregivers. And then lastly, learning and exploration. Children are very curious, so having opportunities to explore sets the stage for lifelong learning and cognitive development.
Now, when it comes to First Children's Finance, and we're talking about that within itself, how does it help when it comes to child care businesses and providing what is that greatly early childhood education, and especially within those first 3 years?
Yes, and so I do want to say, so First Children's Finance, we are CDFI, and we are also a business development organization, so we support child care businesses on the business side. And so we put a lot of emphasis on investment into quality early childhood education. We want everyone to understand the importance of investing into families, quality staff, in a safe environment that allows children the opportunity to explore, grow, learn. And speaking back to what we mentioned earlier, having those opportunities for brain development. And we can't do any of these things without understanding the cost and what it takes to run a child care program. And so one of the other things that we do is we focus on communities and educating communities on these challenges and how we can support children in those first 3 years.
So now when it comes to that and the whole lineup within itself, we're talking about challenges. When it comes to the rural and BIPOC child care businesses, what are some of the things that they face, when it comes to the finances, and where can, First Children's Finance help with them?
So in rural communities, there's a huge shortage in childcare. So there's a lot of connection with community leaders to get something going to solve these issues. Other challenges include access to capital. There's also a shortage of staff because it's a more remote area. And so childcare providers aren't able to charge as much as the metro, but the costs are still high to run a program. And a small change can have a huge impact on these programs. So there's workforce, there's also housing, a lack of housing and availability, which is very challenging for families searching for childcare. And one of the ways that we support the rural programs is through our Rural Childcare Innovation Program. And in this program, we address the challenges of rural childcare through the lens of economic development. This is through a community engagement process designed to identify right-sized solutions for these programs. Challenges BIPOC providers face is access to capital, home ownership gaps, licensing and regulations, staff turnover, as well as not enough representation and leadership in child care programs, which for some families is crucial in choosing a child care program. And so having that BIPOC representation and leadership is crucial because these providers understand their communities, and this in turn helps inform decisions for communities of colors. First Children's Finance, we support these programs in several ways. One of our program offerings is called Community Conversations for Early Childhood Entrepreneurs, and this is for only BIPOC child care providers. And this is a networking and resource group for BIPOC business owners who currently operate a child care business or are in the process of being licensed. And the cohort meets regularly with community leaders to share experience and work through structural barriers that BIPOC providers face. So if you want to learn more about these programs, please connect with us on our website.
So now if someone would like to connect, because I know someone's listening right now, and there's a lot of youth, there are little youngsters, like little babies that are definitely being born, and we need to help to make sure that they stay in order. So how can someone get in contact or find more information when it comes to First Children's Finance?
So you can connect with us through our website. That's www.firstchildrensfinance.org. And we have lots of program offerings, and we have sections on our website that you can just go to different programs to learn more about what we do. We also have contact information on our website, so if you want to reach out to anyone within our organization, their information is also on the website.
So if by chance I missed a question or two, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say that I feel like it's very important those first 3 years that we understand that children need supportive and attentive adults, and those adults also need support, a supportive system. And then I also want to just say that community resources is very important. All of us have to do the work. We just can't put it on the parents. The parents are just a part of this. This is an ecosystem. So we need the legislators, we need the leaders, we need the parents, we need the schools to all come together to understand the importance of those first 3 years and how the more we come together, the better that we can work together. And then most importantly, cultural and individual respect. And this just means that, we want to acknowledge that there are diverse backgrounds, identities, and unique characteristics of children and families. And in order for us to meet them, we have to be inclusive with our representation and also have cultural sensitivity.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, let me let you know once again, that is Tiffany Grant, and representing First Children's Finance. I'd like to say thank you very much for taking the time and keeping us in the know.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you like to hear a rebroadcast of the show or like to get a copy of it within itself, you want to lock in to littlemomentscount.org/podcast or littlemomentscount.org. It's FM 89.9 KMOJ, no doubt about it. It's the People's Station.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.